Hello, I am Wanderer001 and this is my review of the HTC RE. This was HTC's answer to something like a GoPro. So this is an action camera, albeit in an odd form factor, but that odd form factor is packed with lots of options that make it a pretty decent action camera. So let's start off with talking about the actual physical dimensions of the HTC RE. You are looking at 3.8 inches in length with a depth of 1 inch and a width from back here to the top or front of the periscope of 1.4, so almost 1.5 inches. It is 66 grams in weight and it is constructed of this very shiny plastic, so it will show fingerprints and scratches and scuffs very easily, and you may be able to see some scratches there since I've had this and was testing it for quite some time. At the bottom you have pretty much your standard tripod hole, and you have a micro USB port, so this is how you can connect it to your computer and offload anything that's on here, because as you can see there is no screen on this to share your stuff. There is a app that you can download on your phone, which I'll show you a little later, which will allow you to access more features of the HTC RE as well as view your pictures. But coming back to the bottom here, there is also a door which houses the micro SD card. Now, as is, right out of the box, HTC says that the RE is waterproof, but it does come with a little screw-on cap for the bottom here that, if placed on, is supposed to make it even more waterproof. Now, I don't know if you could see that, but really all that is a plastic lip around the bottom. And you could see right there, there is a hole which the included, which I never used, or open lanyard would go into. Now, really, to me, a plastic, non-rubberized gasket pressing against the bottom doesn't exactly strike me with all too much confidence in this being waterproof, but it actually is. Now, I did go out and get a separate, which I'll cover a little later, cap that goes around the bottom that makes it definitely waterproof in my opinion, and had no problem sticking it in the water. Now, some of the specifications or unique features to this: it is a 16 megapixel Sony CMOS sensor, so you're gonna get some very good video outside. Now, you will be able to film in full 1080 HD, however, it will only be in 30 frames a second. Now, if you use some of the special features, one of which is slow-mo, then you're gonna go down to 720 HD at 30 frames a second. And one of the beauties of the HTC RE is, and it might be a little difficult to show since I've been handling it, I'm just gonna put it down for a moment, it has a grip sensor. So when you pick it up is when it gets turned on. If it's in your pocket, it doesn't automatically, or it doesn't accidentally take pictures or video while it's in your pocket. I'm gonna try and pick it up really quick, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna look on the back here, and hopefully, well, all right, so it doesn't look like that's gonna work, but what happens is there is a green light that shines there, and there is a green light that shines there when you first pick it up and actuate it. Speaking of extra things, right there, that is a microphone, because when you take a picture or actuate a video, you get to hear a notification come out of that that speaker. Now, you will notice also when I took a picture, it flashed red. Likewise, when I started initiating a video, it started flashing red because that's an LED up front. If we flip it around to the back, you'll notice that there is an LED, so you know as well. And picture, there. There is another button on the front here which actuates a slow-mo, so if you press and hold, you hear that little actuation sound and you get a blue light. Now what will happen is if you start a video recording, that video recording is going to be in slow-mo. And once you stop it, it goes back to regular video recording. Speaking of video recording, you have one of two options. You can just use the HTC RE as is and record video. And if you do that, you're gonna get about an hour and 18 minutes of continuous recording. I kind of set this down, turned it on at full battery, and just let it go. If you use the included app, which will allow you to use your cell phone as a viewfinder for this, since there is no included viewfinder that you can see, you're only going to get 46 minutes of record time. That's because it's connected to your smartphone. Now, speaking of connections, it connects to your smartphone via Bluetooth 4.0, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi Direct, or using the micro USB port down here. If you are taking still pictures, you have several different choices of quality. Low being 8.3 megapixels, an aspect ratio of 16:9. A mid-level, which is 12 megapixels, again, aspect ratio of 16:9, and a high 16 megapixel still image with an aspect ratio of 4:3. Now, that's the one thing about this I don't like, and that is with the high image quality, you get a 4:3 aspect ratio instead of a 16:9. Not a fan of that. I did test this outside and inside with still pictures and video. Now, as with most cell phones, the still images and videos inside during low light situations can be a little grainy and blurry, and I'm rolling some of those in as we're talking right now. And you can see they're not the greatest images. However, if you have optimal lighting situations, such as outside, you can see that the image quality is excellent, and in my opinion, just as good as a cell phone, and for a little action camera that's pocketable like this, a really good deal. Now, it is, as I stated before, an odd shape compared to the GoPro, which is just a box. Now, this has a very nice grip to it. I can get pretty much my whole hand around it and not have an issue, which makes it much easier to actuate and point instead of having to grip a box like that or get a extender or monopod. Originally, I had gotten this with the idea of giving it to my mother-in-law for their trip to Disney so that they could use it on some of the water rides to film, because they like to film the rides. Now, some of you may know that Disney has instated a new rule that says you cannot have selfie sticks, or in some cases they get really particular about GoPros with monopod handles. So I figured something like this would be really good for them, and it's really simple to use. You pick it up, one button, takes a picture, takes a video. There is a microphone at the top, which I did forget to mention before. And I also neglected to mention, if you are filming for any length of time, the body here, since since everything is housed here, does get a little warm. I also neglected to mention that the battery is a 820 milliamp battery, which takes about 2 hours to fully charge. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some of those extra features that can only be accessed when you're viewing the HTC RE here through the HTC app on your smartphone. Okay, so here we're looking at the HTC RE app. It's a little bright, so my camera's having trouble picking up some of the information on here, but I'll explain what you're looking at. To start, you're looking at the pictures that I was taking while I was doing my review and demonstrating the clicking actions. Up here you can see that there is a battery icon letting you know how much power is left in your HTC RE. Now, I will preface saying that when connecting your app and the HTC RE, make sure that you pick up the HTC RE so that the grip sensor actually turns the HTC RE on. If you don't, the app will try and look for it and will not find it. Here we're gonna come up to the corner and click on this icon, which is for the settings of the HTC RE. If we come over here, we can change camera settings. So I can change the video resolution should I want to. I can change the picture resolution. I recommend leaving it on medium only because of that 16:9 aspect ratio. You can change the HTC RE from having a standard camera angle to this ultra wide angle if you so choose, which is 146 degree. So you'll be able to capture a lot in your picture. Camera sound is just that, and change that to soft, and in my opinion I would, because the noises can be a little distracting. You can change the name. It does have a password because it creates its own little network. You can delete images after moving them to your phone, because you can back them up to your phone. I'll show you that in a moment. Use phone to get location. I don't want pictures to have location data in them, so I turn that off. Video stabilization, it's not great in my opinion. I will roll at the end of the video sample video footage. That's the thing. It does not have optical image stabilization. It only has video, so software stabilization, and it's not great, but okay. Time-lapse countdown light, don't use it, but I have some time-lapse footage that I'll throw in at the end. Auto flip vertically, you want that, and show zone preview, don't worry about that. Backup, like I said, you can have the HTC backup to this phone, Dropbox, or Google Drive. Keep in mind that it will use data if you're not on Wi-Fi. You can also use the HTC to stream live. You will have to sign into YouTube to use it for live streaming, but you can do that. Advanced settings, you can format the SD card. You can check for a software update, and as you can see, I was checking for a software update today, which I did. Download on mobile network. So if you can't get it to work over Wi-Fi, you can do it on mobile network data, but you have to put a check mark there to say that you're okay with that because it can use up a bit of data. Changing the camera info, here's the app version. You could power off the RE if you want. You could factory reset, and then there's your legal information. From here, you can disconnect or connect to another RE. Coming back to the main page, if I come over here, I can share or save the photos to a phone, or I could delete. Now, there are several different icons next to the pictures that you're viewing. That is obviously a video recording. This is a slow motion video. And if we come down here, this indicates a time lapse. And again, I will throw that sample footage in at the end of the video. So if we come up to the camera itself, that, as soon as I grab the camera to turn it back on, is going to allow the cell phone to act as a viewfinder for the HTC RE. And once we come to this screen, we can either view the gallery or go into the options. Now, this is for a still image. If I want to, hit that button, and I just took a still image. Come over here to record. If I click on it, it is now recording a video of what it sees. And I could stop it. From here, I also have the option to do a slow-mo video or live stream. Last option in the app for the viewfinder mode is time-lapse. Now, time-lapse has its own special directions or options that you can do. Clicking on the time-lapse down the bottom, you can change how many seconds pass before it takes a picture. You could change the duration of the time-lapse. You can change the video playback. I recommend leaving it at the smooth because it just looks so much nicer. And then down here, it will give you an idea of what you're looking at. So for the amount of photos that you will take for the amount of time listed, you are going to get an 18-second video, which will consist of 541 photos. Now, I did test the time lapse with this and left it at the default because these are all the default settings. And what happened, by the end of 541 photos, the HTC was dead. So you will need to have an external battery to power the device if you're planning on doing an extremely long time lapse. Now, with that said, because the USB port is down there next to the tripod hole, you're going to run into a problem because most tripods are going to cover up your access to the port where you can charge it. Something to keep in mind, they do sell accessories should you want some different means of mounting, or you can come up with something creative yourself. And last bit down here, you have stop recording automatically, meaning after the time has elapsed, it will stop recording, or until you decide, which is you manually tell it to stop recording. So that is a quick look at the HTC RE app, which you should download if you're going to use it with the HTC RE. Now, the big problem that I have, and you'll notice up here, I do have Wi-Fi on, but whenever I access the HTC RE through the app, it kills my Wi-Fi. It turns it off. I still have Wi-Fi on. It's just inaccessible at this time. And when I was doing an update to the HTC RE, it would not let me go to Wi-Fi to update it. I did have to use my data in order to update the HTC RE. So it's something that may be fixed in the future with the app, but right now, as of filming, they have not fixed that. Now, as I said before, I was going to cover something extra with this, which is an optional add-on accessory that you can purchase for the HTC RE, which is a end cap or plug, which screws into the tripod hole at the bottom, which has an actual gasket, which in my opinion makes it so that I really don't have to worry about if this is waterproof or not. So we're just gonna put that on there so that you can see. Notice there is no gap like there was in the other one. Also, the connection is not right in the top here. It has its own little special place, which does not interfere with the seal that you get up there. Also, it comes with a protection or lens cap, which in my opinion is invaluable because, especially if this is sitting in your pocket, see if I can get that to focus in. Maybe a little difficult to see, but the lens cap there has taken quite a beating and protected the actual lens. So I really appreciate that. And it does come with, unlike the one that comes with the HTC RE, this is kind of rubberized, so it's even better for water because the other one was cloth, which would absorb water. It also comes with a longer lanyard, which I do not currently have on there because I just wanted a short one. Also, with the lens cap on, you'll notice that I picked it up, but because it's not picking up any light, it's not taking any pictures or actuating the video. So you have an extra fail-safe to prevent it from accidentally taking pictures. Now, you can get the protective lens cap and cover here in every color that is made for the HTC RE. Now, this is where the problem comes in. The lens cap and protective cover for the bottom are not cheap. They are $40, so it's an extra expense that you have on top of the HTC RE. Speaking of expense, you can look to spend anywhere from $90 to $71. Now, they do not seem to be producing this anymore. And granted, this review should have been much sooner, but I was having too much fun playing with it and testing it instead of doing a review. So if you look on Amazon for the blue one here, they have a current sell of a new one for well over $100. Now, in my opinion, that's way too much. In fact, when it first came out, it was $200, or I'm sorry, $199.99, which is, in my opinion, way too much for this particular action camera. If you can find it under $90, you're doing good. And in my opinion, it is a great little action camera to have just because, well, I use this now when I'm hiking in the woods and I don't really worry about, should I damage it? Yeah, I'll be a little upset, but I'm not as concerned as if I damaged the Canon Vixia here, which I'm recording on, which is a little more pricey and has a lot more options in video recording. So HTC RE, in my opinion, if you can find it for under $90, it's a good buy. I would get it. So what I'm going to do now is I will roll in the video footage as promised. So sample video footage from the HTC RE here. I have been Wonder001. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. And as always, thanks for watching and enjoy the video footage.